Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service with your weekly Clear Lake fishing report. For those of you who follow the guide service and or have used our service in the past, stick around to the end of this. I got a little message for you. Conditions for Clear Lake. Actually, I'll tell you what, the water clarity and overall condition of the lake has improved a bunch in the last couple of weeks. I have been everywhere except for the very bottom end of rattlesnake and redbud, and there really are no algae slicks around anywhere. Water is pretty doggone good shape. Weeds are starting to die out, as evidenced by, I think they may have done some spraying up in Lakeport. I'm not 100% sure, but yesterday when I was up in that area, there was quite a bit of what I call reddish brown watercolor, and personally I just don't do well in that watercolor, and I spent about an hour in it yesterday and struggled to catch a couple fish and left it. So usually that's an indicator that vegetation is dying. So that's the only area that I got around to where I would say the water color and condition was somewhat questionable. Everywhere else it looks pretty doggone good for, being the first part of August. Water temperatures running in the mid 70s, 77 up to about 78. There's probably some places that it hit 79, but the good news is it's sticking around in the mid 70s, which is a real good range for these fish. Dissolved oxygen is another story. I saw something posted the other day that Soda Bay, as an example, was registered at 1 part per million of dissolved oxygen. That's not good. That makes it really tough on the fish. So take care of them when you catch them. If you can avoid it, don't put them in live wells. They don't need to be there. Catch them, take a picture, let them go. If you have a particularly good fish, it put up a good fight, you want to make sure you get set up for a good picture. Put it in a live well, aerate the living crud out of it for the entire time that you're getting ready to take the picture. Take your pictures and let them go. That's the best thing you can do for these fish. We don't want to see a bunch of pictures of bass with red tails and red fins. That's a sign they're just not going to make it. Water level, just out of curiosity, I looked this morning and it's at 2.3. It's dropped about a third of a foot this week. I don't know if that's due to evaporation or a little bit of water being pulled out, but look for probably 3 or 4 inches a week for the next couple of weeks with the weather that we've had. Okay, activities. Don't really have a clue what's going on. It doesn't look to me like the Fish and Game tournament permit page has been updated, because there's stuff that I had on it that didn't come to be, and then there's other stuff that wasn't on it that came to be. So honestly, I can't tell you this week what's going on. The big news, of course, up here was that Canocti Vista Casino was not going to be involved in hosting any more tournaments the remainder of 2020 due to virus issues. It's a business decision on their part. I don't know if the events that were scheduled here have already been canceled, or if they're going to be moving to probably redbud, would be my guess, but I don't know. Hopefully by the time we get to the next report, I'll have it fine-tuned a little bit more as far as which permits are still valid, who's doing what. Fishing. Last week I told you that we were kind of on the struggle bus, and we were through the day that we did the report. And then things kind of turned around for us a little bit. We made some changes, and it's been pretty consistent that we've been able to put about 20 fish a day in the boat, which is about double what we were doing. I talked to one person, and he had 55 fish this week one day. So the bite's out there. I just apparently have missed it, but we've caught fish up to almost 6 pounds this past week, with a handful of 4 to 5 pounders. You know, fish that are between 4 pounds and 5 pounds, but most of them are 2.5 to 3. Just to try something different, I'm out here today actually on a day off and had to do my fishing report, so here I am. And over to the side of me are 3 bait casters, no spinning rods. Excuse me. And I don't know if I'm proud to say or disgusted to say, but I caught a limit in about an hour and 15 minutes pitching around a swim jig. So I think there's all kinds of bites available. I know jigs are being used. There's a frog bite depending on where you're fishing and what time of day it is. Could be early, could be middle of the day, could be, you know, the last hour or so. You know, we've caught fish since the last report on underspins, shaky heads, Ned rigs, drop shot, swim jigs, frogs, jigs, rip baits. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, because it just seems like when you're around an area that has some fish, you can throw just about anything and they'll bite it. So a lot of our fish have been coming from weeds. We actually started branching out and fishing the upper end of the lake a little bit this week, and it produced pretty well for us. So I know some of you are struggling. Some of you are doing awesome. Some of you are like me and just kind of on the in-between. Just keep after it. These cooler mornings that we've had have really helped. It's kind of, the water temperature coming down has been a huge help. So keep going after them. They're out here. I haven't seen any real big ones, but they're here. We'll run into one of these days. So that's your fishing report for today. I guess the only thing I didn't really talk about was depth, and it seems like most of our fish were coming from 5 to about 12 feet. So, but again, that's just the fish that we're catching. So, okay, I'm going to switch gears real quick. Those of you who follow Clear Lake Guide Service and have booked with me in the past, you're going to see my schedule look really weird. August is full. September and October are probably both going to be a lot less days than I normally would fish. So if you look and you see that, you know, it looks like I'm full, or there's a lot of days that aren't available, there's a reason for it. Hopefully I can get back to a fuller schedule when November rolls around. We'll see what happens. Could be all the way through this winter, and then, you know, with any luck, next year we'll probably be reducing the number of dates we're doing anyway. So just thank you very much for following us. Thank you very much for supporting us. Both Debbie and I really appreciate it. I got my little buddy out. It's the first day that she's worked this in about 5 weeks. Hey, Gracie, come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's just, come here. Hey, come here. Come here. She's skittish because she thinks she's getting thrown in, but look. Hey. Yeah, see? It's the first day she's been out in about a month. It's just been too doggone hot. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments. I appreciate them even more. And most of all, those of you who've taken the time to come up to me when you see me out on the water just to say hi, that's even more special. So thanks a bunch. Good fishing. We'll talk to you next week.